This week's parasha opens with the Jewish people leaving Mitzrayim. Vayihi Beshalach Paro et ha'am, when Paro sent away the Jews. And within two sentences, we learn Vayikach Moshe et atzmot Yosef imo, that Moshe was the one to take with him the remains of Yosef. Ki Yashbea ishpiat b'nei Yisrael lemor, because Yosef had made the Jewish people promise that one day God will remember you, and you shall take my bones up back to Eretz Yisrael with you. The Medrash Rabbah tells the story that while the rest of the Jewish people were busy taking the gold and silver from their neighbors in Egypt, Moshe Rabbeinu spent 3 days and 3 nights to try to find the casket of Yosef. Serach, the daughter of Asher, the one who had been alive for so many years, saw Moshe and asked him why he looked so exhausted. He explained that he had yet to fulfill the promise that had been made to Yosef. She took him and showed him where in the Nile Yosef's casket had been placed. Miraculously, and despite its weight, that casket rose to the surface, and Moshe Rabbeinu was able to take it with him out of Mitzrayim. As the Bnei Israel were carrying the gold and silver, Moshe was carrying the bones of Yosef. The Yalkut Lekach Tov asks a fascinating question. We seem to be criticizing the Jewish people when we say that Moshe was involved in the mitzvah of taking care of that promise while they weren't. And yet, weren't they commanded to take silver and gold from Egypt? Weren't they also fulfilling a promise Hashem had made to Avraham when he said that the Jewish people would leave B'rechush Gadol? If so, why is Moshe's mitzvah considered so extraordinary while the Jewish people's mitzvah is viewed disparagingly? The answer is that there are mitzvot, and there are mitzvot. As we make through life, we have all different opportunities to fulfill mitzvot, and gathering gold was a mitzvah, and gathering Yosef's bones was also a mitzvah. However, Moshe Rabbeinu transcended even the gains he would have had in this world, passing up on one mitzvah to deal with Yosef's bones, which represented an idea. Vayikach Moshe, and Moshe Rabbeinu took hold of the legacy of Yosef, as Rav Soloveitchik explains. He took hold of the promise, and he understood that by bringing Yosef's remains back to Eretz Yisrael, it would not only repair what his ancestors, Levi, had done when Yosef was taken away from Shechem. It would not only bring him back to his ancestral home, but it would also teach a lesson to everyone else, that ultimately we learn from Yosef how to survive. And therefore, as the Kli Yakar explains, the acquisition of gold chosen by Bnei Yisrael was really just a temporary acquisition, one that wouldn't change who they were and would not really be taken with them, while Moshe Rabbeinu's choice was to fulfill the last wish of Yosef HaTzadik by performing a chesed for Yosef. That was an acquisition that Moshe Rabbeinu would take with him, an acquisition for all of eternity.